Peace, Love, Liberty Radio version 4.0. Prepare for launch.
OTC is go.
Packeters is go.
PTC is go.
LPS is go.
Houston flight is go.
Molotov.
STM is go.
Safety-Com is go.
STU is go.
LRD is go. SRO is go.
CDR is go.
Launch Director, NTD, our launch team is ready to proceed at this time.
99, proceeded, 3, 2, 1, ignition. Right away, Houston.
Consequences so severe, so pull your trigger quickly, dear. Our patriots are acting up, let's punish them with fear. Hey,
Hey, welcome to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. I am your host, Darryl W. Perry. And, you know, it's been a while since there's been a Friday show. But, yes, there is a Friday show. Do this thing every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That is, except for when I was doing a lot of traveling. And, yes, I recently did a lot of traveling. And so I think it's fairly fitting that I talk about something that has to do with traveling. And yes, this is version 4.0 of Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, where I help you become a better version of you while I become a better version of me. And, well, here's some advice that I should have taken while I was traveling pretty much every weekend for the last about 5.5, 6 months. But I'm done with the traveling for the foreseeable future. I think there will be a trip to the White Mountains of New Hampshire at the end of August. And the next thing after that is I'll be heading to the Seacoast for the Free Coast Festival coming up sometime in September. And, well, there's going to be a short trip to the Seacoast this weekend for the Startup Societies Summit. That actually began today, but I was not able to get out there today. But I do intend to be there for the final couple days of that. The article here titled, How to Stay Healthy While on Holiday. And I know that's like the British term for vacation. And yes, I know that none of my trips, with the exception of the trip back home last week, could really be considered vacation. But nonetheless, I do think that it's very informative information here. And I personally am interested in this because, as you may know, if you've listened to the show for a while, you know that I lost a lot of weight fairly rapidly, about 140 pounds in 11 and a half months. And over the last 5.5, 6 months, I've gained a little bit of weight. I've gained about 20 pounds. And I'm not happy about it. But, you know, when you're traveling, it's not always easy to always stay eating the healthy stuff. And one of the things that I'd been doing is having a smoothie for breakfast when I'm home. When I travel, that's not always the easiest thing to do, because if you go buy a smoothie somewhere, it's going to be overpriced. You make a smoothie at home, you can make a smoothie for a couple of dollars. But you go buy a smoothie, it's going to be, $5, $6, $7 or more. But nonetheless, let me jump into the article here about how to stay healthy while on holiday. And I kind of like the way they use that term over there in Europe. Specifically, I believe it's a British term. But nonetheless, here's how to stay healthy while on vacation or on holiday. Destination is crucial. Let's tackle the first hurdle before we even get there. If you're thinking of opting for an all-inclusive week's holiday in Italy, the pizza, the pasta, the garlic bread, and the array of rich sauces have already gained us an inch before stepping on the plane. Some places will make resisting temptation a lot harder than others. Determine an appropriate location where you know healthier options and meal flexibility will be readily available. Now, this doesn't mean stay on an organic health farm, although it could. It just means that a bit of forethought and research can help you out massively. And this is not something that I necessarily had a lot of control over when I was traveling for the presidential run, because I did not get to say where the state conventions were. I just went to the ones that I was able to attend. So, again, I had less leeway, or rather less flexibility than somebody that's planning a vacation. Continues here. It says the UK offers endless opportunities for an unforgettable holiday for the health conscious. The beautiful rolling hills of the Lake District provide a maze of enjoyable family walks, hikes, and bike rides. These kinds of active pastimes come hand in hand with a trip to this corner of the UK, so it won't seem strange to suggest such activities. So basically what they're saying here is, in addition to knowing that you're going somewhere where you can still eat healthy, go somewhere where you can still stay active. And hotel conventions, not exactly good for staying active. Excursions in regions such as this, talking about the Lakes region or the Lakes District of the UK, in regions such as this will also lead to cheaper days out. Think horse riding, boat trips, and canoeing, as opposed to bowling, shopping, cinemas, and theme parks. The pretty panoramic views are also a good excuse for taking the longer scenic route when exploring. The type of accommodations, also important. This is number 2 on the list of ways to stay healthy while on holiday. The key here is self-catering. We all like the added luxury of being cooked for, pampered, and generally avoiding all the mundane chores we associate with home life. However, this is a haven for calorie-dense foods sneaking in. Home-cooked food, bought by yourself and prepared by yourself, is the best option when it comes to knowing exactly what you are putting in your mouth. A large cottage or a caravan with a spacious family kitchen will allow you to create delicious hearty meals for everyone to sit around and tuck into without the need for eating out, purchasing convenience food, or ordering in takeaways. I guess takeaway would be delivery for us here in the States. All the foods we try to avoid. Food preparation is also important here, and this, I think, goes sort of hand in hand with the type of accommodations and fits in with number 4 on the list, which is visit a farmer's market. I'll go into those just a little bit before the final 2 on here of 6 ways to stay healthy while on holiday here on Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com. You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates, like Namecheap, Spendabit, and Amazon at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. Or you can shop directly from FPP with Bitcoin in the Bitcoin store. That's shop.fppradio.com. The Doublespeak Dictionary by Leslie Starr O'Hara satirizes the marked difference between the ideal of we the people and the reality of we the elite, while offering an insightful glimpse into the clockworks of the totalitarian mind. Ever irreverent but never irrelevant, the Doublespeak Dictionary serves as a subversive and humorous but timely reminder that the emperor has no clothes. The Doublespeak Dictionary is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores.
You're listening to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio with Darryl W. Perry, online at fppradio.com.
Getting back here into the 6 ways to stay healthy while on holiday. Let me go back over number 1 and 2 on this list of 6 things from archetypes.com. They say destination is crucial. So you will, for the most part, want to avoid Italy, especially if it's an all-inclusive with all the breads and the pastas and the pizzas and the other rich deliciousness that gets you out of shape, not keeps you in shape. The type of accommodations are also important. So if you're going somewhere where they're catering you, you're probably going to wind up eating a little bit more and eating calorie-dense foods, whereas if you are staying in a cabin or someplace with a full kitchen and you are able to cook for yourself, you can control what you eat a little bit more. And that ties in with number 3, which is food preparation. And number 4 is visit the farmer's market. They say you're probably sick of hearing the infamous mantra, preparation is key. But although I hate to admit it, it really is key. Now, this definitely does not mean cracking open your carrot sticks and hummus whilst everyone else enjoys scones topped with cream and jam, but it means having healthy snack alternatives and meal options for everyone while you're out on the go. Instead of picking up a bar of chocolate from the local shop, have an apple or a cereal bar in your bag. Instead of treating the family to a burger and chips, pack a picnic spread of wholesome, nutritious food with the occasional treat thrown in. Nothing excites a child more than more than expelling from the norm anyway, and eating outside definitely ticks this box. And the farmer's market. No matter where you're staying, this is constantly my favorite tourist spot. The author says it offers a front row seat to take in the local people and the local culture while allowing you to sample the best fresh food and local produce the area has to offer. A visit to the farmer's market is a great opportunity to pick up yummy but healthy snacks for the week. Number 5 here, treat alternatives. This is where the fun begins, they say. There is always room for a sweet treat. Restricting yourself can increase the chances of giving in and binging, so instead of saying no to anything sugary or beige in color, get creative and add a healthy kick to your favorite treats. Cook up a storm in the kitchen and wake everyone up with sweet potato pancakes. Oh my, those sound absolutely wonderful, and I've not even finished reading what they're saying here. Sweet potato pancakes. Whip up a decadent dessert of banana rice cream for after dinner, or pack a box of raw chocolate orange brownies as a pick-me-up during the afternoon hike. And again, this is for people that are controlling where they go and not people that are attending conferences that are, like predetermined for them. And lastly, number 6 on the list here for ways to stay healthy while on holiday: moderation. And moderation really is the key to staying healthy anyways. But here they say the last thought I'm going to leave you with is moderation. Yes, you can have snacks. Yes, you can have that caramel hot chocolate with cream in that adorable tea room. Yes, you can have a few of those chocolate cookies with your cup of tea. Remember, you're on holiday and you can treat yourself. If you've managed to keep the calorie, or rather the majority of your food intake, as healthy as possible throughout the day, the odd treat won't harm you. It takes an extra 3,500 calories to add a pound of weight after all, so be a bit lenient, and good luck with your post-holiday run. Now, speaking of runs, I went for a bit over a 3-mile run yesterday after a full-body workout. And you may recall hearing recently I talked about doing a triathlon. And I said that the hardest part about that last year was the swimming, and I was going to practice the swimming this year and hopefully wind up improving on that. Well, I practiced the swimming a couple days ago, and it didn't go so well. I basically, cannot, for whatever reason, be able to control my breath while swimming. I used to be a really good swimmer. Not, like Michael Phelps style good by any stretch of the imagination, but, I used to be able to do, a lot of laps in the pool and would swim in lakes and rivers and have absolutely no problem. But for some reason, I guess after, having not swam for a really long time, last year during the triathlon, I was swimming, and at first my shoulder started hurting, and then I sort of, and I thought it was all because the shoulder was hurting that I had problems swimming, but no, apparently I just can't swim anymore, which is really a shame. And because of the bad experience in the swimming training a couple days ago, I have withdrawn from the triathlon. However, I will still do the 5K. So the give peace a try, they also have a 5K, so I will instead do the 5K. And at some point in my life, I want to do both a half marathon and a full marathon. And, like, I'm not saying that I'm going to become, like, some super runner guy, but, like, it's definitely on the bucket list. And I'm going to, like, keep doing the bike training and the running training with the people at the gym because, well, I paid to do it, so I'm going to keep doing it, even though I'm not participating in the full triathlon again this year. So let me go from that and change gears to something a little different and definitely fitting within 4.0 of Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. And it's something that you often hear people talk about, or at least I do, but it's generally the people that they're like, well, you should just only ever think happy thoughts, man, because, like, thinking bad stuff's just, like, bad, Well, apparently there's some science behind that frequent complaining can affect your brain. The article comes from lifehack.org. They begin by saying, recall the thoughts you have been having today. While you're there, recall your thoughts from yesterday and the day before and the week before and even the month or the year before that. Are there patterns? And if you're anything like me and you have a bad short-term memory, you honestly can't recall what you were thinking earlier today, let alone what you thought yesterday or last week or the week before or a month ago or last year. But just think, are there patterns? More pointedly, are there negative patterns? Can you see any repetition of thoughts that are negative or unhelpful? Well, I'll tell you why that might not be a good thing next here on Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com.
Hey, this is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends radio show. I've been working with computer programmer Derek Slopey to create Fiend Phone. I'm using Fiend Phone right now to talk with and record one of my co-hosts in real time. Take it, Davi.
Hey, this is Davi Barker, and I'm 1,000 miles away from Michael, but we sound like we're in the same room.
We sure do, Davi. So, Davi, please tell the nice people more about Fiend Phone.
Fiend Phone is free, open-source software that opens up a global world of possibilities for collaborative, high-quality remote voice media production, and I'm digging it.
People can try the Windows beta version of Fiend Phone right now at fiendphone.com. But we're also raising money to vastly improve Fiend Phone and vastly improve independent talk media worldwide.
So go to fiendphone.com to help out. Who will build the audio roads? We will, with your help.
That's fiendphone.com. FEENPHONE.com. Foxtrot, Echo, November, phone.com.
Fiend Phone. I never knew remote audio could be this good.
This is Paige Peterson from MaidSafe, and you're listening to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio with Darryl W. Perry.
So before I get back into the science about, or possible science, about how negative thoughts can actually impact your brain, I want to let you know about a way that you can positively impact this show and the other shows that I do. The other show specifically being the daily newscast that I do, FPP Radio News. You can join the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and Numery supporters. And you can join the Fans program for as little as $3 per month. And you get perks. Because everybody wants perks, right? Well, what are some of the perks? Well, the most notable perks would be ad-free versions of this show and ad-free versions of the daily newscast. That's 7 days per week. You also, every month, get the FPP News, a physical newspaper, in your mailbox every month. Those are just some of the perks. You can find out the rest of the perks and join the Fans program by going to fans.fppradio.com. That's FANS.fppradio.com. Negative thoughts. Do you have them? Do you have them a lot? Are you then getting complaints from people that you're a bit of a winger? And I'm not sure. I guess that's a British term. A moaning Mandy. Again, this is a term I've never heard, but has anybody ever told you that you complain too much, that you're, like too negative too often? Well, science allows us a deeper insight into the brain, and it can show us the functions of our neurological transmitters and exactly what might be the reason behind such thought repetition, particularly where bad thoughts are concerned. We can begin to understand why we might be stuck in this cycle of negativity. The question then remains, can we stop these bad thoughts? And if so, how? What happens when we vent negative thoughts? It isn't just a process of getting thoughts out by verbalizing them, though this is a common belief held by many. In fact, saying negative things, as we probably know by experiencing this, makes us feel generally worse. It also makes those listening to our incessant moaning feel bad as well, and so the cycle continues. Science picks up on this flaw, however, and allows us insight into the problem, and therefore denotes a more positive solution, because negative thought patterns can also be negative for your health, the mental kind. How do negative thoughts affect your brain? Well, your brain, and mine and everyone else's, is a collection of synapses surrounded by empty space that is called the synapses cleft. When your thoughts arise, they send a chemical from one synapse over to another through the cleft. This builds a bridge of sorts between the two synapses where the electrical charge crosses, and the charge is carried across this bridge with all the information involved in this one thought. Each time this electrical charge is triggered by the thought, the synapses involved move closer together, so there is less distance for the charge to travel. In essence, the brain is shifting, rewiring to eventually allow the two synapses to spark together. The brain is making the thought come more easily by allowing the trigger to be sparked simultaneously by the chemicals sparking together as one. It is allowing your mind to have that same thought again, but quicker. How can thoughts hurt? Well, what this means is that if you're having a negative thought, they're going to come more frequently. You'll be going out about your day, and at the same time, your thought pattern is going to continue to rear its ugly head. In other words, your negative thoughts may very well result in a pretty negative personality. So you wake up having a bad day, it's going to continue throughout the day. It could turn into a bad week, that turns into a bad month, that turns into a bad year, that then turns into a bad life experience. But what can you do? And I know people often say, well, just think happy thoughts. And it's not always easy, especially if you are in that really deep, dark place. And I've been there myself. But what do they suggest? They say, well, the flip side of this, as is the flip side of negative, is positive. And positivity. The exact same process can occur with positive thoughts. We can train our brains to begin to perpetuate positive thoughts rather than negative ones in the exact same way we would experience the negative thought cycle. This will render us as happy as Larry. And I don't know what that means. I wish that British people would not use weird British slang in their writings, because I read something and then it confuses me. And then I talk about how it confuses me, and now you're confused, and now we're in this cycle of confusion, not a cycle of happiness. But anyway, thinking happy thoughts constantly will allow you to keep thinking happy thoughts. And I'm not saying here to never acknowledge that negative things happen. And there are some people that will try to say that there's no such thing as negatives. You just have to look for the silver lining. And I think those people are probably psychopaths or sociopaths or some sort of something path. Like there's something, if people are not acknowledging that there can be negatives, then I honestly think that there's something as wrong with their brains as with the people that never acknowledge anything good. But nonetheless, this thinking happy thoughts and being in that happy thought cycle will allow you to, according to the article here, be as happy as Larry, whatever that means, and propel a positive and healthy personality. Now, how do you avoid negativity? Well, I'll tell you in the closing moments here on Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. Online, as always, at fppradio.com. Stay tuned. We'll be back. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. You can join the Fans program for as little as $3 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. That's fans.fppradio.com. In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake's security company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. But at what cost? Will anybody care? And can anyone stop him? Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores.
You're listening to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com.
Hey, welcome back to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, the final closing moments of Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. And don't forget, we do this thing every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and every Wednesday I answer your questions, no matter how odd they may be. So, going over the final thoughts here on how frequent complaining can affect your brain and what you can do about it. I believe I just somehow scrolled completely past this article. Here we go. How to avoid negativity. Many things can inspire positivity, and there are steps you can take to ensure you are leaning towards positive charges through your synapses cleft. Aim for stress-free living as much as possible. When you're depressed or down, the hormone cortisol is released and can lead to problems with your health, which in turn affects this whole cycle. Approach life the way that makes you the most happy. And remember that the company you keep can make the biggest of differences. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity and negative people, you can catch that drift. Don't let it seep in and start messing with your cortisol. And I just have to say, cortisol sounds like some prescription drug that you would be prescribed for something. And they're capitalizing it here in the article, which makes it sound as though, it might be something, but they're saying it's a natural chemical released through your body, or at least a natural hormone. And they suggest surrounding yourself with positivity, light, and good thoughts, and you will succeed in training your brain with happiness. And, I have to say that it's not easy, and I've been in that deep, depressed sort of state to where it feels like you're just in a rut and you don't know how to get out. And I don't know what it was that, sparked in my brain, but, I am a lot happier now. And I know a lot of it had to do with getting back in shape. I'm not over 300 pounds anymore. Matter of fact, I'm hovering around 190 right now, and, I would like to drop a few more pounds, but, I'm physically feeling a lot better, so I'm mentally feeling a lot better. At least that's the way I think it might be going. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure which is the correlation, which is the causation. Is it that I started getting in the right frame of mind and then I started getting in shape physically? Is it that I started getting in shape physically and that helped my brain? I don't really know, but I do know that, I'm not in that deep, dark place anymore. That's the show, and don't forget, I answer your questions every Wednesday. Send those over ama@fppradio.com.
The podcasts of FPP Radio are licensed under Copyheart. We believe that copying is a form of flattery and do not abide by the copyright laws. Those laws serve to restrict the flow of ideas, which no one can really own. Copying is an act of love. Love is not subject to law. If you enjoy the show, consider joining the Fans program and get perks like ad-free versions of Peace, Love, Liberty Radio and FPP Radio News. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com.